Hello fellows, I am back and I am now at a spot called Plage Saint Anne Beach, and I just wanted to show you a few things again. Since last time I did not get the chance to walk on the beach, now I want to show you a few things around the beach. Again, it's about excuse me, 3:30 local time in the afternoon, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a visual of the beach, and then I want to talk about a few things that I see that you may be interested in. So bear with the visual first. All right, so that's a little bit of a panoramic view of what's going on over here. Um, what you saw in the water, it's a lot of this thing. See if you can see it. This is this kelp full of bubbles. And there seems to be some other kind of grasses. This one right here looks like olva. This one we have actually also in, or similar to this one, in Florida. It's pretty much all over the world. One thing I want to show you is this sand. And I'm not sure if you can see in the sand, it is very fine sand, and it is pretty white with it's got a little bit of a greenish kind of tinge to it. A lot of white crystals, most likely just silica, which is what remains after you weather all of this material. Those rocks that we were seeing earlier, this is what you end up with, this very, very resistant to weathering material, along with it some pinkish brown sort of materials. Okay, so that's for that. One interesting thing that you'll see also along this line is I'm going to show you a wall, and along that wall you see where the kayaks are. Okay. See the blue kayak, and then down on the other side of the wall over there, there's two yellow and red kayaks, and you can see more or less the end of the stairs. Well, again, this is that tidal elevation, that tidal change. It's pretty amazing. I'm gonna walk over there and start. Give you a little bit more close-up view. Okay, so now I am here and I want to show you again this kayak. Okay, so I am here again now and I want to show you this kayak. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put my bag. I'll be right back. Okay, so there is my bag, and my bag is about a foot or so. You can tell how large this kayak, how far up this kayak is, and this seawall is basically trying to contain the ocean as it comes all the way up here. Okay, another aspect that is really interesting in this land, since it's such a high tidal range, is that when the tide goes down, what it allows is for the groundwater, water that it's up in the land area, for that water to be able to now come out a little bit more easily out to the ocean. So this is sort of what we're studying, and this is why the reason I'm actually here is to meet a group that likes to talk about these interactions and understand them a little bit better. So I just want to show you, this is a great example of that happening right now, and I want to show it to you. Alright, so there is the ocean, and I'm going to go towards the ocean. And now I'm going to go walk towards the land, and what I'm going to be able to show you here is, you can see this little rivulet. I'm sure you can see the water flowing. Okay, now this may seem to you as just a tiny little stream, and you may want to say, so who cares? Why is this so important? Okay, well, I'll tell you why it is important. And you see these little rivulets coming out of the ground. Coming out of the ground. Okay, so these rivulets are coming out of the ground, and the reason, one of the reasons that they are important is because they do not only happen in isolation, but they actually happen along the entire landscape. You can see here this beach, the sand looks pretty wet, and all of those are small little rivulets, and you can see off in the distance up there there's also quite a bit of wet looking sand, and that's all water coming out of the ground and going out towards the ocean. Now this is the deal. So this is what happens, right? So what happens is that water that's up in the land rains up in the land, and as water falls and trickles through those soils, infiltrates through the soils, then eventually what you end up getting is water that gets enriched in, well, nutrients. Anything that may be in those soils gets basically dirty. It gets filled with or saturated with things like potassium, calcium, things that we were talking about earlier, about all these rocks, all these minerals and elements that they contain. Well, this water that's in the ground now is able to go out towards the ocean. And in general, the ocean is pretty devoid of many of these nutrients, especially nitrogen, phosphorus, things that you may find a lot of it on land. So what it ends up doing is basically is injecting these nutrients. These nutrients are being injected through this mechanism um, into the ocean. Now, again, it's not one single spot, but it's actually happening all around the landscape. So when you have a very small amount of what we call discharge, or in more technical terms, submarine groundwater discharge, what you end up having is a lot of, again, nutrients, and what those nutrients can in turn do is sustain this incredible amount of primary production or growth of algae. And I'll give you another visual of that. A lot of kelp and a lot of sea life. Tonight I'm gonna go and treat myself to a nice seafood dinner, and I'll basically be taking a film of all the sea life that I see on the restaurant. Of course, most of that sea life is coming from these waters, so we'll be fine. Alright. That's it for now. We'll catch up later. See ya. Bye.